Hi, and welcome back to this second hour of Focal Point on AFR Talk. Brian Fisher is my name. You are listening to Focal Point, the home of muscular Christianity on conservative talk radio, defending a biblical worldview of life without wavering, without apology, without retreat. Now, just to close the loop on what we were talking about last hour, here's a piece in The Atlantic, which is, again, a publication, leans pretty far to the left. And it's talking about a new book called Lean In that's written by the CEO of Facebook. Her name is Sheryl Sandberg. Title of her book is Lean In, Women, Work, and the Will to Lead. I won't go into the details of the book. But this piece in The Atlantic raises questions about her basic thesis. She's a feminist. This Facebook CEO is a feminist, Sheryl Sandberg. She's of the You Can Have It All school. And what this piece by Christina Hoff Sommers in The Atlantic says, that she misunderstands gender differences. This is a woman writing about another woman and saying this other woman, this Sheryl Sandberg, top of her game, CEO of Facebook, or COO of Facebook, actually, Chief Operation Officer, she misunderstands gender differences. She writes about the fact that Sandberg envisions a time when gender roles all but disappear. Quote, a truly equal world would be one where women ran half our countries and companies and men ran half our homes. Does that sound like paradise to you? That just sounds so dismal to me. She blames society for tricking little girls into liking princesses and little boys into preferring superheroes. Quote, the gender stereotypes introduced in childhood are reinforced throughout our lives and become self-fulfilling prophecies. But Christina Hoff Sommers goes on to say this, Sandberg's goal is to liberate her fellow Americans from the stereotypes of gender. But realize gender is part of the law of nature and nature's God. It's not a result of cultural conditioning. It is not stereotyping. It's the way we were made. Remember, Genesis 1 said God made them what? Male and female. There are two genders. They are not they're not five, by the way. There's only two, and they are not interchangeable. They aren't the same. They're different. There is a male gender, and there's a whole collection of characteristics that come along with that are by God's design. It's not cultural conditioning. And then the other gender is female, and there are a whole complex of talents, abilities, inclinations that are wrapped in the concept of being a female. That has nothing to do with cultural conditioning. Sommers refers to this, to a 2008 study in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology. A group of international researchers compared data on gender and personality across 55 nations throughout the world. Women, listen to this. I mean, this is not going to be news to you. This isn't going to be news to you whatsoever, but it's astonishing that the world got so far off into the weeds that this becomes a revelation, that men and women are different, and that women are more nurturing, and that men are more competitive. I mean, this is like a revelation to these people, like they've never heard this before. This is new information. This 2008 study, 55 nations. So this isn't, can't explain it away as a result of one particular culture. Let's see. Throughout the world, women tend to be more nurturing, risk-averse, and emotionally expressive, while men are usually more competitive, risk-taking, and emotionally flat. But the most fascinating finding is this: personality differences between men and women are the largest and most robust in the more prosperous, egalitarian, and educated societies. According to the authors, higher levels of human development were the main nation-level predictors of sex difference variation across cultures. In other words, the more prosperous a culture is, in other words, the less they have to worry about the very basic necessities of life, the freer men are to be men and women are to be women. And they are different. I repeat, Women are more nurturing. They are more risk averse, and they are emotionally expressive. Anybody surprised to hear that? This is like a revelation to these people. They got to go study people in 55 nations around the world to come up with this conclusion. Women are more nurturing, risk averse, emotionally expressive. Men, more competitive, risk-taking, and emotionally flat. Anyway, I won't go through any more of the details there, but it's just striking to me to see that the more liberals and feminists, I mean, these women in the first article described themselves as flaming liberals and feminists. They're coming back to a view of family life and domestic life that's as traditional and as rooted in the Judeo-Christian tradition as you can get. And I'm willing to bet they don't even know it. They don't even realize that they're coming back home. And speaking of this whole business of working women, remember President Obama made a big deal out of signing that Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act. Women ought to be paid the same as men. 70% of the highest paid Obama White House staffers are males. Only 30% are women. So the Obama war on women continues. 70% of the highest paid Obama White House staffers are of the male variety, and he has the audacity to lecture us on equal pay for equal work. And then maybe you heard this story. I might allude to it when we come back. A family's home was raided because they posted a picture of their smiling 11-year-old son holding a birthday gift, a hunting rifle. The home got raided back in 2000.